Okay, so let's dive into this incredible ancient story. It's about a king, a guy who has absolutely everything you could imagine, and then in the blink of an eye, he's told he has just 7 days to live. 7 days to figure out what this whole life thing is really all about.
The book this story comes from, it kicks things off with a pretty intense idea. It says that the time we're living in, this age of Kali, is like a vast ocean of faults. And the thing is, we're not just looking at it from the shore. We're all submerged in it.
So if that's true, if we're all kind of treading water in this difficult ocean, well, that brings up a huge question, doesn't it? How in the world do we find the shore? How do we find solid ground? And that's really the question we're going to explore today.
To really get what's going on in this story, we've got to first talk about this concept of the Kali Yuga, or the Age of Kali.
Now, this isn't about a specific date on a calendar. It's described more like an energy, an atmosphere of quarrel and, hypocrisy, but just sort of seeps into everything. The world around us, and even the noise inside our own heads. And what's wild is how the source material describes this age. It's not some abstract philosophical concept, it's tangible. It's the exploitation of the planet, the way we treat each other, and how relatable is that last one? Our lives are literally being plundered by distractions. The endless scroll, the constant notifications, it feels like our attention is the new gold, and everyone's mining it.
But here's the thing, the text doesn't just drop us in this difficult ocean and say, good luck. It explains that for this very specific, challenging age, a very specific kind of guide was provided, kind of like a lighthouse in a storm.
So this book, the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's presented as more than just a collection of stories. The idea is that it's a living, breathing source of light, specifically designed to help navigate the darkness of our times.
And get this, the story of how this book even got to the West is an epic in itself. Just picture it. A 69-year-old teacher with almost no money, just a trunk of books, gets on a cargo ship, and for 38 days he endures this incredibly rough journey, even has 2 heart attacks at sea, all to share this knowledge. It's just wow.
All right, so now we're getting to the heart of it all. Let's meet our main character, Emperor Parikshit. He's this great, powerful ruler who comes face to face with the spirit of this age. He's on a tour of his kingdom, and he comes across this scene it's shocking. He sees this guy, dressed like a king, just brutally beating a cow and a bull. And it turns out, this is the personification of the age of Kali himself, literally attacking Mother Earth, the cow, and the principle of righteousness, the bull.
And this is such a powerful image, right? The bull, he represents Dharma. That's like the foundation of morality. It's supposed to stand strong on 4 legs: austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But now, after Kali's influence, it's just teetering on one single shaky leg: truth.
So Parikshit, being this righteous king, he doesn't even think twice. His job is to protect the innocent. He draws his sword and just completely shuts Kali down, forces him to surrender.
Okay, so you'd think that's it, right? Hero saves the day, problem solved. But this is where the story takes this wild, unexpected turn. It really shows you that nobody, not even the most powerful person, is safe from life's curveballs.
So later, our hero Parikshit, this great king, he makes a mistake, a small one, but it has huge consequences. He's super thirsty. He asks a sage who's deep in meditation for some water, and gets no reply. So feeling ignored, he does something totally out of character. He disrespectfully drapes a dead snake over the sage's shoulders.
Just a small, impulsive act of disrespect. But the consequences? Oh, they were massive. The sage's young son sees this, and he just flips out. He's so enraged that he unleashes this fatal curse on the most powerful king in the world.
And that's the pivot point of the whole story. Get this, the guy who literally just defeated the personification of chaos itself is now told, you've got 7 days. 7 days to live. That's it.
So what would you do? I mean, really, most of us would probably panic, right? Or get angry. But the king, he saw this as a golden opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime chance. He just let it all go. The kingdom, the power, the wealth, all of it. He walked away from everything to focus on one single thing: what truly matters when your time is up.
So he goes to the bank of the Ganges River, gathers all the greatest minds of his time, and asks them the one question that really gets to the heart of being human. What is the duty of a man who is about to die?
All right, so this is it, the climax of the story. The king asks the ultimate question, and the answer? Well, it doesn't come from where you'd expect. You have this whole assembly of these old, wise, respected sages, and in walks a 16-year-old kid, a teenager. And yet every single one of those great thinkers, they all look at him and agree, he's the one. He has the answer for the king.
So what was this profound answer? What was the path to perfection in his final days? It wasn't about building a legacy or fighting one last battle. It was simply to listen. For 7 straight days and nights, no food, no water, he just sat and absorbed the wisdom of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
And here's the amazing part. By just focusing and hearing these words, the king found something so fulfilling, so satisfying, that he didn't even feel hunger or thirst. He said he was tasting a nectar that was way more satisfying than water.
So the king's story ends there, with him achieving this perfect state. But it leaves us with a really big question to chew on. We live in a world of constant noise. Our phones are buzzing, the news is yelling, social media is scrolling forever. It's an endless fight for our attention. So the question the story leaves us with is this. If you only had 7 days left, what would be important enough to truly listen to?